Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Lambda Kappa Sigma Professional Fraternity for Women in Pharmacy, Lam Talks webinar. My name is Christine Perry, and I will be presenting this webinar on CV and resume writing. I'm a community pharmacist and have been with Albertsons Pharmacies for over 30 years. I am currently the manager of pharmacy recruiting and college relations, where I hire for interns, pharmacists, pharmacy managers, district managers, and numerous other positions. I graduated from the Massachusetts College of Pharmacy, where I joined Lambda Kappa Sigma Alpha Chapter. I have held numerous leadership positions on a state and national level, including president of the Massachusetts Pharmacists Association, APHA officer, Speaker of the House for Phi Lambda Sigma, and served Lambda Kappa Sigma for 16 years on Grand Council, including 6 years as Grand President. One of the first things you want to do as you prepare for the application process is to research the company or program you're applying to. Visit the website or posting and read the job description in detail to understand all of the roles and responsibilities. From the job description, you will be able to pick up keywords that should be used in the application process. Understand the company's goals and mission is important in preparing your resume so that it aligns with the company's description. Think of both the hard and soft skills that are a match for the position and include them on your resume. Every pharmacist and pharmacy student should have a CV and resume. There are similarities between the two documents, and it is important to know what the purpose of a CV and resume is and what information is contained on each. Your CV details your entire professional career, and it is used to apply for residencies, fellowships, research, academia, or teaching positions. And while these positions are all jobs, because of the nature of the position, a CV is used to apply for these roles because the additional information is used as part of the screening process. A CV is also used when submitting applications for scholarships or awards, or if you are a speaker or presenter. Your CV is a living document and should be updated frequently. I suggest setting a monthly or quarterly calendar reminder to update your CV. And remember, there is no page limit because a CV details your entire professional career, from pharmacy school to present. Now, when it comes to your resume, a resume is tailored to the specific position that you're applying for. It should contain a summary of your skills and work experience compared to the detailed information that you would put on your CV. A resume is used to apply for jobs, and it should be no more than 1 or 2 pages long. When creating a resume, start with your contact information, followed by your educational history, pharmacy licenses and certifications. Your work history should include a few concise bullet points of the skills and experiences you have that best fit the position that you're applying for. Next is professional organizations, and then honors and awards. The format you see here is the standard for a professional resume. You should not move or change the format of your resume when you are applying for jobs. While your intent might be to be creative and be different from other applicants, by changing the format, you are actually telling the hiring manager you don't know how to put a resume together. As a candidate, you want to stand out as being the right person for the job and not someone who doesn't know how to put a professional resume together. Here are a few resume writing tips. Build your resume in reverse chronological order. That means the most recent is at the top of each section. Every candidate should use a professional email address such as your name. It is recommended that candidates use a Gmail, Outlook, or Internet account. Students should steer away from using their school email and use their personal email on their resume, so employers will be able to follow up with you now and also into the future. Many school emails are retired upon graduation, or the employer emails end up in the school's spam folder. When preparing bullet points, don't forget to demonstrate results and include numbers, percentages, and accomplishments. Utilize keywords from the job description and include them on your resume. Choose a professional font such as Arial, Times New Roman, Calibri, or Gammon. Make sure your resume is formatted well and simple to read with limited white space. Under the Honors and Awards section, include those that are pertinent and highlight your abilities and strengths. Remember to update your resume on a regular basis, and it's a good idea to include the last updated date at the end of your resume. For bullet points, start each sentence with action words such as establish, produced, organized, designed, managed, executed, prepared, improved, created, decreased, or increased. Remember to never use I on your resume or refer to yourself in the third person. And finally, spell check. Proofread and edit. Mistakes on a resume are like a medication error in the pharmacy. When creating your CV, you're going to start off with your contact information, education, certifications and pharmacy licensure, rotation work and research experience, professional organizations, publications and presentations, awards, grants and achievements, and volunteer experience. When creating your CV, you are going to follow the same organization and standards as your resume. In fact, when building your CV, you are going to start with your resume and then add in the sections that are specific to your CV, such as rotation and research experience, publications and presentations. Add in grants and achievements, and then your volunteer experience. Remember that these sections are specific for your CV and do not go on your resume. When it comes to the organization of your resume and CV, let's break down exactly what it should look like. For your contact information, include your permanent address and an appropriate email. It should have your name, your street address, city, state, and zip code, a professional email address, and your home or mobile cell phone. Many candidates still include an objective on their resume or CV. If you do include an objective, make sure that you have it tailored to the position. Highlight your strengths and skills and keep it short and to the point, using no more than 3 sentences. Your resume is your most important financial document, and you must think of each line you use as having a lot of value. For most candidates, their objective is too general and not a good use of space. It often either hurts the candidate or does nothing to help them stand out. In this section, a better idea than an objective is to include a career summary, highlight of your skills, or a career target. Under the educational section, include your most recent degree. Students should include their anticipated graduation date from pharmacy school. Prior degrees or schools should be listed in reverse chronological order. There is no need to list your high school diploma, as it is understood if you are in college or have a college degree that you have graduated from pharmacy school. GPA is not required on a resume, but is optional. However, your GPA should be included on your CV if applying for residencies or fellowships. Academic honors, such as Dean's Lists, can be included under this section or the Honors and Awards section. Either choice is acceptable. The key is to be consistent and included in only one section of your choosing. When listing your certifications and licenses, start with your pharmacy license and include each state you're licensed in with license number and expiration date. Next, include your professional certifications such as immunization, MTM, diabetes, opioid or Narcan training, CPR, point of care testing, or HIV. Include the licensing body and expiration date. One of the most important areas of your resume, and the area where we see the most errors, is in the work experience section. For work experience, include only positions that have been actual work and not those that feel like work. The defining factor is if you were paid, that it is considered work. Remember to include the dates of employment using the month and year. Keep in mind that IPI and API rotations are not work. They are part of school, which every pharmacy grad must complete per ACP guidelines. Volunteering and shadowing experiences should also not be included under work experience. These go on your CV, but not on your resume. Include 3 to 5 bullets under each employer that highlight your responsibilities and achievements, starting each sentence with an action word. However, on your CV, your work experience should be more detailed versus the highlights you put in the bullets for your resume. If you have been active in different organizations or on campus, these should be listed under the Professional Organizations section. You should only use the complete name of the organization versus its acronym. APHA should be listed as American Pharmacists Association, or LKS is listed as Lambda Kappa Sigma. Include the dates you have been a member of each organization and list any leadership positions held under the organization and include the dates in each position. Finally, the Honors and Awards section should include those that demonstrate your value or characteristics and will make you stand out as a candidate. Your references should be prepared on a separate page using the same heading and contact information from your resume. At the end of your resume, you will state that references available upon request. When preparing your references, it is important to include those that will give you a favorable reference, so reaching out to them in advance and getting their prior approval is important before listing them on your reference sheet. Also make sure that you have the correct contact information, specifically email and phone for each reference. Your goal should be a minimum of 3 and up to 6 references coming from both your work and academic experiences. Here is an example of a good resume. You will first notice that it is formatted correctly and all of the indents, paragraphs, sections, and bullets are aligned. At the top is the contact information, including name, email, phone number, present address, and permanent address. A career target has been used instead of a career objective. Next is the education section, including anticipated degree and graduation date, and notice how the academic achievements are highlighted. The certification section includes the pharmacy license and certifications. Next is the work experience, which is in reversed chronological order and includes the employer name, location, dates of employment, and duties using action words. Additional work experience is included using the same format. Professional organizations with the name of the organization, dates of membership, and leadership positions held. Finally, the references available upon request is included at the end of the resume. Like the resume, this sample CV is formatted differently, but still meets the standards. Contact information is at the top, followed by education, certificates and licensure, and professional experience, which is your work experience. Next is the experiential education section for APPE and IPPE rotations. If you are a student, when you receive your APPE rotations, it is a good idea to list them all on your CV at once, and then after each rotation is completed, expand that section to include the duties and experiences you accomplished. Next is the other work experience section, where non-pharmacy work experiences can be listed. Professional organizations is next, followed by publications, presentations, and posters. Take note of the standards for this section and how the name, title of publication, and dates are listed. Honors and awards and scholarships and community service events are listed at the end. Since the CV has no page limit, you might want to include a footer with your name and page number. When preparing your CV and resume, it is important to avoid all spelling errors, typos, or bad grammar. Make sure your contact information is accurate and you are not missing your address, email, or phone number. Under work experience, include your dates of employment and make sure they are accurate. Discrepancies in employment dates are often found during pre-employment or background checks. Preparing your resume is a fine line between including too much information or not enough. And finally, make sure to highlight the skills that make you stand out as the best candidate for the job. For the final tips, remember that your resume should be 1 to 2 pages long. The further you get into your professional career, you might have to edit or cut and paste, which is why it is important to analyze the job. However, your CV is your whole professional career, and there is no page limit. Know when to use each document. A resume is used to obtain an interview, and a CV is used as a screening tool. Your resume should contain all relevant information that pertains to the job, while your CV has every one of your professional qualifications. Update your resume each time you apply to a new position. If you want to get called back for a job, don't forget to list your contact information with your address, phone, and email. If you use an objective, keep it concise and tailored to each position. And each section is done using reverse chronological order with your most recent first. This webinar is part of the Library of Programs from Lambda Kappa Sigma. A special thank you to the LKS Communications Committee and HQ staff for their assistance with this program. LKS sisters are welcome to reach out to me via email with questions. Thank you for viewing this webinar, and I wish you success in pursuing your professional goals.